We have finished our yoke. I like to think of sweaters as kind of three-part projects. We have the yoke, we have the body, which is kind of around the chest and belly, and then the sleeves. And so, if we look at it that way, we are one third of the way through the project. Well done, well done. Okay, so we're back looking at our pattern. And we see the short row shaping optional. For now, since we are beginners, we are opting out of that. We're going to nope right out of that and go on to the separate body and sleeves. So, to this point, we have been doing kind of body and sleeves together for the yoke. You saw me mention where the sleeves are a few times. That's where we have our garter tab or garter placket kind of going down the side if you're doing that part. And now is where we are going to put some of the we're going to put the sleeve stitches on hold for the moment while we work the body. And so that is what this video is going to cover. So we're looking here. Sleeve stitches are placed on hold on waste yarn. Keep beginning of round marker in place. All other markers can be removed. So we will do that. We're going to place the 26 for the smallest size, more if you have the bigger size, stitches to the next marker on hold with waste yarn. We're going to cast on a number of stitches for the underarm. We will be going over that in detail. And then knitting the front, all the stitches that we had made for the front, we're just going to knit those. Then we're going to place the other sleeve on hold on waste yarn, cast on the same number of stitches for the other, that's where the armpit is, and then knit to the end of that row. So, and then again, we're going to have a stitch count so we know we're on track. For me, that will be 80. For you, that may be different. And then we're going to knit however long we need our body of the sweater, which is kind of from the armpit down to the waist, without the bottom ribbing. So we will stop when we get to the bottom ribbing, and that will be covered in the next video, is the ribbing. So I'm going to be making a regular length, so I will be knitting for 5 inches. You'll be knitting however many inches are appropriate for your size, or if you want a cropped length, it's shorter. And then at that point, I would recommend, before you start the ribbing, to go ahead and try on the sweater again and make sure it is long enough or short enough, however long you want it, with between 1 and 2 inches shorter, I guess, than you really want it, so that we have room for the ribbing at the bottom. I've knit enough sweaters for myself that I know nearly always I have to add 2 to 3 inches for length. I don't know if I just have a longer than average torso for someone my size, or what, or if maybe I just like to wear them longer. But this is another place where you will want to try on the sweater if you're knitting it for yourself or someone that you can try it on them, so that you're not making it too short. So I am going to switch cameras to show you how to separate and cast on those underarm stitches, and we will go from there. Okay, friends, we are ready to place our sleeve stitches on waste yarn and cast on stitches for the underarm. And so this marker is my beginning of round. You can see where this is blue, all my other ones are this tan color. So that's how one of the ways I remember. I have some ink or something on my finger. So this marker is going to stay here, but for the moment, so it doesn't fall off, it's going to come off for just a moment, but it will be going back. I have ready my waist yarn. I do like to make it a different color. It just makes things easier a little bit later when we're putting these stitches back on the needles. So how much do I have here? Maybe about a yard. Should be plenty on a tapestry needle. So this is my sleeve. I know because I have a couple of reasons. You can count the stitches here, and the pattern tells you how many sleeve stitches you're supposed to have. I also have my garter panel. So I am going to take my tapestry needle and just put it in through each one of these stitches so that I don't twist them. If you want to think of it this way, I am putting, if this were a knitting needle, I'm putting it in as if to purl. So you can pull them off one at a time. I'm kind of pulling my yarn through. Be very careful though that you don't pull it all the way through. I've done that before. And then I just have live stitches there that aren't on yarn or a needle. Or sometimes especially if I can get it through underneath, I'll do several at a time to pull through. I'm not really counting these stitches here. I just know I'm going to the next marker. And we're removing that marker, don't need it anymore. I'm going to cut my waist yarn here long enough so that in a moment I am going to tie these ends together, but not quite yet because we're going to be working under here and it's going to get a little bit fiddly. All right, I'm going to put my beginning of round marker back where it was. This is my working yarn. I have it over to the side. We need to cast on, for my size, it was cast on 4. I'll be casting on 4. So remember when we originally had the cast on, we kind of have two, let's see if I can even do it. You kind of have two strands that you're working with when you're doing just a regular cast on. Now we only have one, so it's going to look a little bit different. So I'm holding it with my pinky back here. I'm going to take my pointer finger, go behind, and pull up. Okay, so now my right hand needle is going to go under that left strand, and then I'm going to let go with my pointer finger, and I have the yarn in these other fingers back here, and I'm going to pull it tight. Okay, we're going to do 3 more. So I have my pointer is going to go behind the yarn. I'm going to go in front with my right needle and pull my finger out. So we're making a loop and placing it on the needle. There we go. I've cast on 4. You may be casting on a different number, but I've done 4. I'm going to bring the yarn to the back. Nope, sorry. We're gonna bring the yarn up and over. I was right the first time. It's been a minute. So we're gonna bring the yarn to the back because we don't want to twist these stitches. We want to, again, remember at the beginning we had the ridge all go toward the middle so that I knew for sure I hadn't twisted the stitches. Same again, this ridge on the bottom. It's going to be a little difficult to see because I don't have very many stitches, but there's that ridge on the bottom. They're all facing the same direction. So I brought my yarn to the back. I want to make sure I don't bring it over. like this. This will cause a twist. I want to make sure it goes under to the back. Okay, now I'm going to start knitting. These are now the front stitches, so I just knit all the way across the front until I get to that other marker. I am going to do just a few here before I stop, and I'm going to go ahead and put this kind of in a knot so that my waste yarn can't be pulled out. All right, so I have all my sleeve stitches on this hold yarn, and I have my 4 for the underarm down there. Just for kind of clarity and to go over it again, I'm going to knit over to the other sleeve and show you again, because we're going to do the same thing on the other sleeve. We've made it to the next marker. We're going to pull it off. We don't need it anymore. Thank you for your service. All these stitches are going to be pushed off onto waste yarn. Okay, those are all on the yarn. We're going to cast on 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then knit back. To the beginning of round. Tie this guy. I have a really long piece here. It's just going to get in the way. So I'm going to cut that off. And then I'm going to knit the first couple of stitches just from the underarm, just so that you can see the first time you go around on these underarm stitches, they are going to be tight. So it might take a little bit of extra effort to get under there. But subsequent rounds, it won't. It'll be fine. like to get a little tighter. There are multiple ways to do underarm stitches like that to cast on in the middle of a row. I found this way to be the easiest for me. So I'm gonna lay this flat and you're gonna see how this is starting to look like a real sweater. So the sleeve is gonna come down this way and the body's gonna go down this way. So I will meet you back here when we have finished knitting knitting the body. For me, that's gonna be 5 inches. Check the pattern to see what your size is and look forward to seeing you.